To create a new project, head over to the Create a Project button after you've logged in. If you're logging in for the first time, you'll be faced with a slightly different screen. Just click on Optimize a new website. When you click on Create a Project, you'll be faced with two input selections. The first will be to add in the site domain that you want to analyze. For this, I'm going to choose inlinks.com. And the second will be to select your target market. Please note that here is also where you're selecting the language in which InLinks processes your information. So if your website is in Spanish or French, ensure that you pick the Spanish or French options. If you press next, InLinks will then take you to a page which shows you how many pages we find in the SERPs for this particular domain. So we have found 563 pages. It recommends you starting often with about half of those. This is for two reasons. The first is that often with entity SEO, we can make a big difference with a smaller amount of pages as long as we bring in your most important pages and a good chunk of your blog. However, the second is to ensure that you don't go all in immediately and waste all of your credits and not know what you're talking or doing about. So just bear in mind that this is a recommended starting amount for your safety and for optimizing your page count versus how much money you want to pay for InLinks. Importantly, you do not have to start with this. If you went and pressed proceed as recommended, it will bring in 282 pages, but those will be fairly random as we get this information from a third-party source, which is updated very frequently and can sometimes bring in some unexpected pages from your site. To combat this issue, I would recommend going to Add Pages manually and pressing OK. When you do this, it will open a brand new domain and project that is empty so you can add in custom pages. This is how I would recommend most people start if they would like to be in full control of the pages that come into InLinks. If you would like to bring in your entire website, then you should start with proceed as recommended at the beginning. Once you validate this, it starts to open the project. We are now inside the project, so let's give you a quick tour of how to add pages and where to find everything. So, firstly, you're going to want to add some pages to your account. In the top right-hand corner up here, you can see Add Pages. If you click here, you can see that there is an input place for all of your URLs. You can paste your list of URLs there, start with the most important ones to get better results. You can add multiple pages at once this way, and you just need to press Save in Project once they've all been pasted in there. A good tip is to bring in your top-level category pages and a good chunk of heavily populated, content-heavy pages, such as blog sites. If you don't have this, don't worry, InLinks has plenty features to help you create content and populate your site with content. But for now, let's just add in our top 50 pages. You can see now that when you add the pages, whether you do it manually or allow InLinks to bring in 50 from what it sees in the SERPs, that it will start to analyze at the top. Definitely click refresh after about 30 seconds of this happening, and you will see the progress over here. While this is happening, let's go over to the topics. On this side is where you'll be able to find a list of all the topics on your pages. InLinks goes through the pages that you bring in and extracts those with entities. Mostly we are talking about tools, links, search engine optimization, and web content, and I can see those all in this topic list. To have a look at the topic list in a topic map format, just head up here to Display Topic Wheel. Here we can see all of the entities in a topic wheel. This is also exportable to a PNG. This graph will keep getting populated more and more as those pages are being analysed. You can see that InLinks has categorised these entities into primary entities, so the ones that we're finding in page titles, and secondary topics and secondary entities, which are the ones that we are talking about meaningfully often on pages, but potentially they're not in our titles, so they're probably not going to be intrinsic to the InLinks topic chart. The ones in green are showing that Google is also detecting and pulling these entities for us. This is because we run Google's NLP API alongside our one, just to show you how much more granular the information InLinks pulls actually is. It's also good to note that Google only pulls very, very broad level entities, or at least it only shows that in its API. So it's good to take a look at what InLinks is doing compared to what Google is pulling or showing you that it's pulling. Click off of here to navigate back to the topic site. And to get back to the page that we saw before, you just need to go to website pages. Now, almost all of our pages have been brought in, and they're in a nice list format over here. Before we get into actually targeting these pages, I'm just going to show you this filter. This filter is really useful. It allows you to filter by the latest added pages, which will become far more useful later down the line when you want to see the pages that you've just added and have them not get lost in the top pages. You can see growth opportunities, which is a fantastic tool to show you the smallest amount of effort that you would need to put in for the greatest amount of reward. So it looks as if we probably need to target and audit the entity analyzer and the audience finder on InLinks, which does make sense as they are our newest pages and they probably do need a little bit of love. The final part of this filter that I want to show you that's useful before we start targeting, auditing, and creating content briefs is this thin content filter. We can see here all of the pages in our account that have 500 words or less. Over here, our affiliate agreement has less than 4 words, which is most likely due to a PDF or something like this, so you could probably disregard that. But things like this, our API account has only 308 words, which probably isn't enough to create meaningful content around here. So we know that thin content is really unlikely to rank based on what we're seeing. It can't convey the right amount of entities, so it's always good to audit this page and bring up that word count. I will show you how to do that in a later video, but this is a great way to start to navigate your site.